9, season 9, episode 7 of the Foyne Jones Show. We're back in the studio and we've got a very special guest for our next episode of Building on Success. I can honestly say you are my second favourite Silva in the entire universe. Number 1 is Marco Silva. He's a genius. He's a football manager, and he's the manager of Fulham Football Club. But we are joined in the studio today, very special guest. She's travelled down from Surrey. Rebecca De Silva, how you doing?
Hey, Peter. Great. I'm great. It's lovely to be here. I've never done a podcast before, so...
You've never done a podcast before, but with your personality, you're going to be a complete natural. This episode, Charlie, we're without Charlotte.
No Charlotte, Pete.
Yeah, Charlotte was last seen singing karaoke with Harry George Jones after a Fulham match.
Really?
That's all I'm going to say.
She's gone MIA.
Yeah, I want you to edit this as a little clip. Like, where is Charlotte?
Yeah.
Last seen in
Has
seen in the King and Queen singing "I Love You Fulham," right? To the tune of "I Love You Baby." They were singing it together. Their mums will be proud. That's all I'm saying. So, Rebecca, how's it going?
Yeah, really good, thank you.
There's been exciting things happening in your world lately, hasn't there?
Very much so. A lot of change over the last... Yeah, I mean, it's been officially a month.
Officially a month, there we go.
Yeah.
And we'll dive into that during the podcast. So today's episode, for the listeners, we're going to be getting to know Rebecca De Silva. We're going to be looking back in your career within Builders Merchanting. That will take us beautifully into what you're doing now, all right? And we're going to talk about that. We're going to ask you, all right? We're going to ask you who would be your dream dinner guest, and you can only pick 3. We're then going to open it up a little bit, and we're going to get into the industry, and we're going to talk about the challenges in house building, the opportunity for house builders, and dare I say this, and it could get controversial, Hula, we're going to talk about the politics and how that's affecting things at the moment. We'll also be talking about everything else that's happening in the builders merchant industry and beyond, and we're going to have a lot of fun. You up for it?
Yeah, definitely.
So, Rebecca, for those, and there can't be many people because I've seen your LinkedIn posts, right? Everyone knows who you are.
LinkedIn, I don't know what LinkedIn is.
I've never seen so many selfies. This award, that award. You'll be at Mobo soon, wouldn't you, in the Brit? So, just take a moment just to introduce yourself and tell the listeners, for the uneducated, a little bit about yourself.
Okay, great. I'm Rebecca De Silva, for those who don't know. I've always been in the construction industry, got a huge passion for that. Do you want me to go back to the beginning?
Go on, take us through.
What, right back to...
It's up to you.
When I was born?
I mean, that may... Charlie, how far can we go back in this bit? Yeah.
How long have you got?
We've got as long as you want, Rebecca. The floor is yours. Let's talk about the construction industry. How'd you get in the construction industry? Because, it's not... I'm going to be careful what I say, but this is about opportunities. It's not the most female-driven industry, so you're knocking over some stereotypes there. You're making a name for yourself. How did that happen for you?
So I didn't know after school. I wanted to be a vet. I went to a veterinary college to be a veterinary nurse. Realised that it wasn't just about like the nice side of animals. It was also the sad side. So I scrapped that. Went back to college, ended up doing 3 years at college because I didn't really focus through my first year. So then I redid my A-levels,
So you're telling me you was a bad student?
Pretty much a bad student. Couldn't really focus, was more interested in the party side of things. Went to uni just because I felt like I had to do that for my parents because they put so much into my education. Dropped out of uni, got a job. And then from there, I kind of fell into the construction industry. So I started at an accountancy practice, which specialised in the construction industry. So I went on to sites in like Battersea Power Station and things like that, and spoke to all of the construction workers, signed them up for tax, VAT, to do their limited companies at the end of the year. So I was there for 5 years between roles of sales, head of sales and head of tax and outsourcing, and then head of external sales. Then I wanted to go to London and have that kind of lifestyle. So I worked for a manufacturer. It was Design Works. So I worked with developers, architects, contractors. When I was at Design Works as a manufacturer, I supplied into Travis Perkins, and one of the gentlemen I knew there was leaving. So I decided to go for the role. That was a massive jump for me. I remember the right moment where I got the phone call in my bedroom. And I answered the phone, and they offered me the job, got the job, and I was honestly like, I'm never going to be able to do this. I have no idea.
So a bit of imposter syndrome kicking in.
Massively.
Yeah.
I loved people. I loved the sales element. That always drove me throughout my career. Definitely just the people. But I had no idea. I mean, I remember when I first started and someone said, yeah, I'll have a bag of dust. And I thought they were like joking with me because I was a female. But then I realised quite quickly, you know, what these products were. Travis was an incredible place. And I have some of the best times of my career at Travis Perkins. That was amazing. And then I did the thing of swapping to the other side at Juicing.
No one's going to boo and hiss. It's okay. It's okay. We're all friends here. We're all friends here.
I was green and gold through and through, and always wore green as well. I was one of those. And then I went to the blue side and suddenly changed to a blue blazer. So that was just how it was.
Go both teams.
I know. You got it, but it was incredible. So it was great to have an understanding from a national builders merchant on both sides, and they both had strengths, they both had weaknesses, but it was an incredible journey. And the most important thing that I believe through that career is the people that I surrounded myself with. And there's no better place, in my opinion, that I fit in any industry more than the construction industry. It's very work hard, play hard. It's full of personalities and entrepreneurs. I believe it's a place where you can just be yourself. And I really welcomed that. And a lot of, there's a lot of collaboration. It is, I know it's controversial now, it's siloed in certain areas, and it is siloed, but there is also a lot of collaboration in other areas. And I think as individuals, we can drive that collaboration. And that's what I've loved to do. And I love to enjoy myself as well as work hard.
Yeah.
I'll work in, people don't see behind the scenes, like working all hours, bringing your laptop and phone on every single holiday I've ever been on, because I want to achieve, but I do also love to have fun. Yeah.
So has your laptop and phone gone with you on every single holiday?
So it has gone every single holiday. I've had my laptop and my phone. Yeah, there hasn't been one that hasn't. And I've always had, since the start of my career, I've always had a job where I've worked, I can work from my laptop on home. Because I've been on the road and it's been quite external based. And I always found, so the thing I found most interesting was from school, which I found really difficult. And I probably was more interested in trying to make everyone laugh or be with loads of friends and stuff. From that to my first job, I realised it's actually not about reading a textbook and understanding it. It was about...
Great point, that is.
Yeah, it wasn't about that, my first job. So my first job was actually the only thing that was important was listening to people and working harder than anyone else. It was never about reading a book and trying to understand it. And that's what drove me to be like, I can actually do this for once. And then I think because I found school so hard and challenging, and I had extra support lessons and bullied sometimes for dyslexia and not being able to spell and not being able to understand certain things. It was something that I could achieve by just listening and working harder. We used to have my first ever job. There was sales time only between 10 and 12 and between 1 and 3. The only time you could call people, so it was a call centre, my first job, to get sales. But what I did is I decided, now I'm going to scrap that. I'm going to call between 8 and 5, and then I'll do my admin between 5 and 10 at night. And that way I beat everyone.
Yeah, I mean, you're working, you're doing 3 times as much outbound as well, so you're going to get the results. But,
and that was the only way to win.
But it's really interesting. I mean, you talk about overcoming dyslexia. No, my youngest son, who's in the parachute regiment, he really struggled with academics at school because of his dyslexia, but he's very physically strong, very sporty, very athletic, and probably that's why he's doing what he's doing now. But that natural curiosity, that the natural ability to listen and to think your way around situations, it goes with that because different parts of the brain unlock it for you. But I mean, I love this. So from selling, from doing the tax returns for builders and developers around Battersea Power Station. So I grew up knowing Battersea Power Station in the old days.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm still a little bit uncomfortable with what they've turned it into because it's just too nice now. Yeah. I quite liked it when it was the old Battersea Power Station, but it's become a beautiful landmark, and it's a landmark that people can enjoy. You've fallen into the builders merchant industry, and you highlighted something there, Rebecca, which I think is so. We're lucky enough to doing what I do. We're lucky enough to feel that moment a lot, that life-changing moment when you secure a new position which you thought was out of reach, and so many people would be in your shoes and they wouldn't have applied for that because they would doubt themselves. They wouldn't have had the confidence to give it a go. And the reality is, what's the worst thing that can happen? Nothing's changed, but you learn from it. But then all of a sudden, oh my God, you're there and you've been given the news and how am I going to do this? And you've got to figure it out. But it sounds like you've been curious, you've got the ability to listen. Those qualities are like, they're sacrosanct. They should be non-negotiables for any good salesperson.
Yeah.
So your merchant career, because this is what I'm interested in, right?
Yeah.
Go both teams. The interesting thing, Charlie will know this, so most of the listeners will know this, I've played for both of those teams as well. So your journey, surreal. We spoke about this on the phone last week. Your journey reminds me of the steps I took because I did 9 3/4 years at Travis Perkins, and I did 2 or 3 years at Saint-Gobain and Jewson, and I launched my own business, which will be turning 22 years. It'll be 22 years ago in January. The roles you did must have been a great learning experience for you. Great people, great customers, great, just a great way of learning and doing, because you like meeting people, don't you? You're a face-to-face girl, you told me.
100% face-to-face. I can't do anything like over, emails or Zoom calls. It's just really not for me. I love to see people face to face, and you just get an understanding of someone's energy, and what people want, what drives people. So like both sides, Jewson and Travis Perkins were amazing.
So let's pick a few highlights. So if we go through the Travis career, what were your highlights in your time with Travis Perkins?
So one of my biggest highlights was one gentleman that I hugely admire said to me, "Rebecca, don't ask for permission, beg for forgiveness." And he was the CEO, and now is a new CEO of the other side. But that really stood with me because I was a big advocate of creating events and creating a buzz around the customers, because the best way to sell yourself is for someone else to sell you. There's no good me saying to you, "Oh, I'm trustworthy. I follow up on everything, and I will ensure that everything gets delivered on time." The best way is for other customers to speak to other customers and say, "Oh, well, yeah, I've used Rebecca, and at that merchant, she was great." And that, for me, bringing people together was massive. So a few highlights at Travis Perkins. One, obviously, with an important man who said that stuck by me, which has a playful stance on things. And I don't think you get that I don't know if you get that in other industries, but in our industry, it's very much like going with your gut, putting the people first. So I did an event at Goodwood, my first event, which was with like 20 regional developers. And we raced around on cars and had dinner after. And
Did you win?
I won out of the females.
There you go. Yeah, so you did. Yeah, you did win.
I did win. But that really, from that moment, the customers really engaged in what we did, and it was to take them out of that office environment where we could have a nice chat and chat about them, chat about their families, chat about what's going on in their life, because I care outside of just am I selling materials. It's not just about selling materials, it's about building a relationship. So that event was amazing. Then I did an event at Clay's, which was the first one where I got some speakers. So I got some speakers from finance banks, Savills, the HBF. And we did, Clay's was shooting in London. So we did that, and then the Wild Ones came out for a party after. So we did obviously the shooting. We had some speakers, we had suppliers. I got suppliers sponsoring it outside of the business development fund, you got to call it these days, because you know you got to be careful with how you say these things. And that was brilliant as well, because the customers were speaking to each other about, you know, what subcontractors do they use, and what challenges have they got in the market, and many areas like that. Who they finance for, and what it does is it brings a real lovely partnership together, whereby regional developers are not competing with each other, but actually they're supporting each other in different areas of their build. And that was great. And then the biggest highlight, I think, for Travis Perkins was I got to speak at the State of Play report at the Houses of Parliament.
Whoa.
And that was, I remember going into the bathroom before, because I was like shaking like a leaf, like I was this morning. I was fine. And I...
Rebecca, you was not shaking this morning. You literally had the whole of the reception and the coffee area like eating at the pub. You've got someone's doing your printing, everyone's running around for you. You're like a breath of fresh air and confidence. I'm not having it.
I was waiting to go into hair and makeup.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't do that, could we? So, yeah, the State of Play report. I went into the bathroom, looked myself in the mirror in the ladies' toilets in the House of Parliament, and was like, Rebecca, you've got this. And I literally looked at myself in the eye and was like, come on. I literally was like, you got this. I was like, look, why not you? Like, why not you? Like, anyone can do this. You know, stand up,
Great
speak
point.
clearly. Like, why can't I do it? Like, don't ever, you know, put yourself down. And I remember, like, not to bring my dad into this.
Why not? Come on, he's builder's merchant royalty.
Yeah. But I remember him, I swear he had a tear in his eye.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I should hope so.
he literally said after, like, he was like, oh, that's the best you've ever spoken. That meant a lot to me because, you know, family is one of the biggest things to me. And that family can be blood, but family can also be friends. And, you know, those connections mean a lot to me. So, yeah, the State of Play report, that was massive. We had, you know, close brothers there. It was Travis Perkins there, the MD, everyone. And it was a real honour to be able to do that and to talk about the challenges that SMEs face in the market, and to be able to bring together and hold the panel of the Q&A at the end. So that was brilliant. So, yeah, Travis, I loved, you know, we had a brilliant Southeast group of regional directors, branch managers, really passionate, empowered the people. And I remember watching Kieran Griffin at one of the conferences, and the way he brought everyone together, I was like, and the sense of empowerment that he gave everyone, I remember just thinking, like, I just love that camaraderie, and I love sports. And Travis, for that, was phenomenal, and
Fantastic.
I'm really grateful for every experience I had there. And I think that really was one of the biggest points of my career that elevated myself from working for a manufacturer to juggling 10 million plates at one time, never having all of your emails cleared, which for my OCD was quite stressful. But I managed to cope with it. And I think one of my brother said to me once, Rebecca, you've got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that really like stuck with me. And I was like, I'm going to be at peace within this state of uncomfort. Because definitely in a builder's merchant, people do not realise how hard it is.
Within a builder's merchant, it's rock and roll, but it's coming at all angles. And I tell you what, if you wanna give your OCD some therapy, you can have a look at my inbox, because the amount of incoming I've got coming from all angles at once, you know, I have to sometimes decompress. But that's the warmth you speak about from your time at TP. You know, I know, and I can see from people I know and from industry in general how that's reciprocated. You know, there's warmth there, but you did move to the other team, so you moved across to a different merchant. How did you find that, and what did you take away from your time there? So,
do you know what, it was a fantastic opportunity for me to start kind of my own business within a business, because it was a new area looking after the regional developers. I got a fantastic opportunity for a national role rather than a southeast role. With a national role, I'd really understood loads more about the differences between different areas, how they buy, different independent merchants we're up against, and different views of what people are looking for and how people build. That was amazing. One of my best things was starting to build a team and building a team of salespeople. And I love that. And I love bringing people together, making people feel good. And actually, when I was younger, I wouldn't feel like this. But now I'm maybe a little bit older. I really got such much more sense of achievement from other people achieving than myself.
Yeah.
And having the sales team did that. One of the things I said to them, which I loved and which some of my team members loved that I said, was I said it's like a football pitch, yeah. So we're watching. This is how we're going to sell. It's like a football pitch. We're not in the crowd watching two teams play against each other. We're on the sidelines. We're warming up, watching, our competitors play against one of the developers that we want to work with. And at any given moment, someone gets a yellow card or a red card and they're off. I said, we jump straight on. And I said, by being on the sidelines and watching everything, we've got the opportunity to do that. Whereas if we're in the crowd just thinking, oh, do you know what? The supply chain's already sorted. We'll just sit back and, we'll watch. That's not good enough. So I was like, we have to be on those sidelines waiting for an opportunity to jump in.
Did you have a tactics board up and everything?
Yeah.
Did you do it properly?
I was waiting to get a proper sales office to have a bit of
But I remember talking
banter.
to you. I remember talking to you when you were starting to build your team. It's about a year ago, maybe just under a year ago. And what I thought was so great was the passion you had in terms of the team you wanted to build. You wasn't looking for someone who's been there and done it. You wasn't looking for a specific type of experience. You wanted good people.
Yeah.
And you wanted to surround yourself and be there with good people. And I think one of the challenges, because I'd imagine you're very good at sales. Right? I just get this sneaky feeling, Rebecca, that I can imagine a few of your customers wanting to deal with you. But you move into a management role, leadership role. You've then got to get that same buzz that we all get from selling, from seeing other people sell.
Yeah.
Because they're selling on your behalf. And then if you go up another level and you go to a more senior leadership role, you've got to get the team and the structure behind you and moving for you. And you spoke before about one of the gentlemen there leaving you feeling empowered, and leaving feeling passionate. That is something which I think you're going to be. Well, I know you're naturally good at it, right? So I'm going to ask you a question. You walked in here. You said we're going to have fun. You having fun?
Yeah, having
all
lots
right,
of fun.
so we're coming to the end of the first half of the podcast, right? So we've got to know you as a person. We've spoken about where you've been so far. When we come back after the break, we're going to do something much more special. We're going to talk about the future, and you're going to be explaining what is happening with you and Built by Partners. And then we're going to have a fun talking about some dinner guests in the house building industry. Sound good?
Sounds great.
All right, we'll see you after the break, Hula.
When it comes to bricks, there's only one company to speak with. ET Clay have something for every brick project. With over 400 products across our 2 depots, we are the builder's merchant, brick merchant.
Okay, welcome back to episode 7 of season 9. Still can't believe it, Hula. Season 9 of our podcast, the Foyne Jones Show. And that's important because it's not just my show, it's more the Charlie Hula and Charlotte Hockey Show now as well. So,
mate,
here we go. No one's seen them yet, mate. Last seen in the singing karaoke. I love you, Fulham. So, Rebecca, we're going to move on to talking about what you're doing now, what Rebecca's doing next at Built by Partners. But you wanted to mention a big F1 event, didn't you? So tell us about that, and then we'll move on to Built by Partners.
Yes, great. Well, I think just one of the last things that I did during Juicens was an F1 arcade event in London, and I had some key speakers from the HBF, Savills, Close Brothers, And I had about 80 regional developers, all racing. We had suppliers there supporting. And I think that really brought together the collaboration piece that I was really, really proud of. We had such fun at that event. I even had people chanting Rebecca De Silva football chant.
Yeah. Rebecca De Silva. Yeah, okay, we can do that. That's part of our theme tune. That's Rebecca De Silva. We shouldn't have dropped that in. That's going to be coming up all the time. So, all right.
It was just.
It was another good event.
Yeah. And that is what this construction industry is all about.
I heard a rumour you're moving up to Rebecca Gold.
Yeah, no, that was one of my customers. Yeah. He calls me RDS, and then he's because I did a good job for one, and we're still improving. I'm gold now, so I'm waiting to get to platinum.
All right. There we go.
Yeah, that's
all right,
my goal.
So let's talk now, because this is really important, because I want you to bring this to life, because honestly, it stopped me in my tracks, the amount of warmth and positivity from the industry when you dropped the bombshell. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm like, whoa, it stopped me in my tracks, and then the sheer amount of go for it, Rebecca. I'm so proud of you. Go and smash it. You're gonna rip it up. There was so much warmth and positivity. Let's talk about the story behind Built by Partners and what you're doing now.
Throughout my career, I've obviously just focused on the suppliers and the developers. And what I wanted to do is put more effort and focus into those. So I wanted to create Built by Partners, where partnerships build everything. This means that I'm able to deal directly with the manufacturer and directly with the developer. And I'm able to join those two together to just really ensure that the right product is specified and the developer gets exactly what they need, from stock, availability, price, everything they're required.
I mean, your attention to detail and commitment to this is very big, because we were talking yesterday and you put the phone down on me 3 times to sort out an order, and I'm like, fair play. I'll ring you back, Pete. I'll ring you back. Don't panic. So the industry needs this, I think, because collaboration and bringing people together, that's been missing for a long time. And you see pockets of absolute success where brands, businesses, and often individuals are getting it right, but collectively there's an opportunity, and you've seen this opportunity. So that's what you're doing right now. You're building relationships with big manufacturers across different product groups.
Yes,
and you're the conduit to taking them into developers and house builders.
Yeah. So what I've got is the array of developers that I've dealt with over the last 10-15 years. So that's my solid base that I'm looking after. And I approached 3 different manufacturers and said, I want to represent you. I want your trust in me to represent your brand. And I'm going to go out there and speak to developers and ensure that we get, if your product is suitable, we'll get that specified on the next development, and we'll work together. So collaboratively, we'll work together on getting the right product specified for the developer's next development. And I manage that relationship.
Wow.
And I make sure that works from cost, delivery on site, and all of the elements that is needed to ensure that technical and design is completed. So just like I was doing at Dewson's or Travis Perkins, I'm doing exactly the same. But I'm just dealing directly with the manufacturer and the developer.
Fantastic. So I have a question. So if we go back to your school, college and uni days, and then falling into that first role, chasing the tax returns across Battersea Power Station and South of the Thames, Did a young Rebecca De Silva imagine you'd be doing this with your own business? You've done that great journey through large corporate companies. Did you ever imagine you'd be doing this out there on your own in the trenches, making the magic happen? Because that's what you're doing.
Yeah, no, never.
Fair play to you.
Yeah, I never. I think I got to a point in life where I was like, I'm going to try not to plan things. Because the more you try and plan, the more, the universe has a different plan for you. So I just kind of let the journey unfold naturally. And I'm more gravitated towards what I enjoy and what is it that I enjoy and what elements do I enjoy. And I want to then make that, the biggest part of what I do. And what I do with Built by Partners, where partnership builds everything, is the developers was a massive part. Working with, say, over 200 entrepreneurs, which all have different ways of building, different ways of financing, building, types of build. There's so many. And all I do is I listen and understand what that is. And then I bring the right manufacturers to the developer, ensuring that meets what they require, whether that's bricks, roof tiles, stairs, windows. I've got a supplier that is suitable for them, and then they're able to then purchase that, and I will manage it from start to finish. So I'll price it, manage the delivery, and make sure anything aftercare is looked after. And the most important thing for me is having the right partners. The reason I've picked my partners is because I have dealt with them for 10 or so years. It's pretty much like a dating thing. You've got to.
You swipe left
everyone
and
can
right.
go through the honeymoon
swiping
period.
away.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm told that's how it works. I'm not sure.
No. Well, it's like anyone can go through the honeymoon period and be good.
Yeah.
As a supplier, as a manufacturer. And that's what I've got to be worried about, because I don't want to put my name to something that I'm not going to be able to deliver long term. So the manufacturers that I've got have already been through that honeymoon period because I've worked with them throughout the builders merchant days. I know that they have got stock. I know that I can hold the prices for what I need to. And I know that if there's ever an issue with any of these products, that I'm able to go and get replacements, or I'm able to, get more delivered. So that's really key for me, that important bit with the manufacturers. I think it's a mixture of quality, price, and the people there, that they are experts within their field, whether that's bricks, windows or stairs. So I've got the pleasure of being basically a business development consultant for a manufacturer. But instead of just being for one manufacturer, I get to have, a handful. And it's still a lot less than it was at the builders merchant, where you're dealing with all of the product categories.
I'm still fascinated about the sheer diversity of personalities you're going to be managing, because you mentioned the different challenges each developer faces, each business owner faces, each entrepreneur faces. You're managing all of that and the demands of their businesses, and you're matching them up. So I mean that's fair play, first of all, because again, I mentioned this before, like on that journey where you went for that position you didn't think you could do. You've achieved something just by sitting here and being a month in that so many people will be envious, because I speak to, in my world of recruitment, I speak to so many people that regret not going for that job, regret not giving their own business a go, regret not taking that risk to maybe get that huge reward. And I think if you look back to some of the things you've said about, begging for forgiveness, surrounding yourself with good people, the power of networking, all of those attributes are going to help you become so successful. I can see it happening now, because I think the industry in general needs to have figureheads like you, strong females that are talented, actually going out there and ripping things up, and that's what you've got potential to do, Rebecca De Silva. So I wish you and Built by Partners every success. What's the final bit of it? Built by Partners, because
partnerships build everything.
Because partnerships build everything. Ready, Charlie? We do it again. Whoa, Rebecca De Silva. Whoa, Rebecca De Silva. Right, let's talk. Okay, and we'll come back into a closing message where you can talk about your business, all right?
Yeah.
But I want to have some fun, because it's not my podcast without having some fun, all right? So let's talk about your dream dinner guest, past or present. You can have 3 people round the table.
Yeah.
Who are you thinking of inviting? Who are we sitting down with? I might come as well, so I'll be the 4th. But who are we inviting? Who's coming round?
I think it's so easy to pick business people, right? I think it was my dad. He'd probably pick Winston Churchill or something like that. But scrap business, because I think I'm surrounded by amazing different entrepreneurs within business throughout my career with my regional developers that I look after. So big thing for me is nature. So I'd pick David Attenborough because I love that. Then I'd pick Music is another massive thing for me. So I'd pick John Summit just because he is my number one on Spotify this year. And I've seen him twice, I think. I love
View on that,
music.
Charlie?
I do
John
not
Summit?
even, I don't know who he is, but
Bit of house?
I'm looking at
Look him up.
Different genre to Charlie Hula. I mean, so far, David Attenborough's going to be living the dream down with the kids, isn't he, around this table? So,
Definitely.
So, who's next?
And then the third, just because he's absolutely gorgeous, Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. There you go. Mrs. Jones would agree
Not
with Tom
gonna
Hardy
lie.
coming round for
Yeah.
tea. So there we go.
Especially Mobland. Have you seen Mobland?
Yeah, I've seen Mobland. I've seen Peaky Blinders.
Whoa.
My wife's a fan, so we get to see them all. All right. So we've got Tom Hardy, we've got David Attenborough, and we've got some house music in the mix as well. So we've got
100%.
Spotify
That would
rocking
be-
and rolling.
that would be
the
perfection.
dream.
Yeah.
There you go. And if your old man was there, he'd be inviting Winston Churchill round
Probably,
as well. So we do it like that.
Yeah.
But that gives such a glimpse into the personality. Now I'm not sharing my three. I'm doing it at the end of the series.
Okay.
But I can say that none of those
Are we
three.
matching?
None of those three have been picked by anyone before.
Oh, really?
So, none of those three have been picked
Well,
by
people always told me that
anyone
was
before.
unique, so maybe
But
that's why.
I think the female audience will be very. Some of the male audience will be very
Yeah.
much happy if Tom Hardy's coming around for dinner, won't they? So there we go. But Rebecca, let's talk as well about your personality and the challenges in the house building industry, all right? Because it can be white, male and style. Okay, and I don't mind saying that because I can call it out because that's my show. All right, there is stereotypes. How have you found? And there's no right or wrong answer, right?
Yeah.
But how have you found being you in the house building developer world? How have you found that?
Well, I've actually found it. It has changed.
Yeah.
Because I found when I worked for a manufacturer, it was a little bit derogatory. And I found it a little bit uncomfortable, if I'm honest. Just the way that you'd kind of get used within that kind of sales environment of.
I think it's important to talk about this because I think
I was
it's
the only
just
female
real.
on my sales team. Yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was just the way you kind of got viewed and stuff. It was slightly uncomfortable sometimes. But then Travis was amazing. But you did get, it was different with different pockets because I think London was way more, it was a lot more kind of 50-50 on male females, where there was other areas where it was a little bit more kind of male dominated. And then I think like most recently in the last year, like it is very kind of empowering and to, be whoever you are, regardless of gender or religion or anything. Very inclusive place to be, which is lovely
that's
to
what
see.
that's what we want. And people like yourself can knock that door down, but leave the door open for others to come in. And I think this all the time because I'm so passionate about the builders merchant industry. I'm so passionate about the construction industry.
Yeah.
And I think if we can showcase the amazing careers and the amazing opportunities, even if it's just by conversations like this, people see you, see what you've achieved. It gives them something to aspire to.
I think
and that's so important.
Yeah, I think like there's so many opportunities for both male and female, and I'm very much like I love being a girl, love being a female, but I want to be embraced for being a female. And we've got our inherent ways of doing things, and males have too. And I think it brings so much balance when actually we both work together, and you have that that 50-50 split. Some of my developers. They've got a big 50-50 split, and it really drives like great productivity by having that balance.
So, Rebecca, we've been talking about the house building industry, okay?
Yeah.
And this is so relevant to you and your business and what you're going to achieve in the future. Let's talk about some of the challenges. Where are the brick walls? What brick walls? Where are those points where you're like, oh my God, I'm bashing my head against the wall. We're not getting anywhere. Let's just bring a few of those to life because I imagine some of our listeners, they're feeling that.
Yeah.
We're all feeling it. I feel it from a hiring perspective. Negative budget, people stop hiring, vacancies get closed down, people get made redundant, everyone wants a job, there's not enough jobs. Hello, I'm a recruiter, I'd like to make a living, please. So we're all hitting different challenges. So what do you see the challenges for the industry?
I think some of the challenges involve, one thing is that houses aren't selling as quickly as they used to. So developers can't get their cash out quick enough to be able to then start building their next sites. So cash flow is one of the biggest challenges in this industry, and whether that's unfortunately merchants or manufacturers or developers, I think that's a big thing. So having the right finance in place for developers is massively important, and for them to understand the way that they're building, and as soon as they've sold their last development, they can take the cash out to then move on to the next development. There's a higher interest rate and higher build costs. So it's more difficult to turn a profit now than it was before. And I really admire those developers because they're all finding ways. They all build so differently, but they're all finding ways to get through, to meet the Future Home Standard, to be able to understand those new practices, to build more sustainably. Moving forward, they're diversifying as well. So some of them used to build more kind of high-end properties. Now they're having a mixture of housing association and private developments, so they can balance their cash flow as well, so they get that continuous flow of income from the HA staff, and then the private ones is that more bespoke section of their build. I think what we really need more regional house builders, because we don't want the country to just be one national house builder, that everything looks the same. And I think there's such a beauty in regional house builders being present. We've got around 2,000 at the moment. And it's really important for them to all stay in business and for the government to help support them to build, so that we can have that character, that individuality, and a more high quality build, in my opinion, with the added extras, and not just building to kind of a footprint. I don't want to get too down that route.
No, I understand, but this is real. If you look at the politics and the challenges, and we see what's out there. It's very easy for someone to say we're going to build 3.5 million homes. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
We can all say that, but actually making that happen is a challenge that everyone faces. Yeah,
I think there's a huge challenge in the Section 106 document and the pre-commencement meeting. From a perspective of what they need to do with their ecologically thing, with what they need to do with their ecology, and what they need to do prior, like with highways and giving money to local council and everything. All of that needs to be done before they even put a foot in the ground. So I think that takes up a huge amount of time. And even when they've got the land, they're unable to build on it even once they've bought it, unless they've met.
I feel the frustration, the bottlenecks are there. There's a desire to get the country building. There's a desire to keep this industry going, because the skilled trades, people can make so much money if they invest their time into it. But it is a challenge. So I guess we are going to see that play out, and you and your business will be part of that. For you, the next few months, what are you setting yourself as challenges? What are you looking to achieve?
So I'm looking I'm very keen on the first ever customer that I met, which was one in Kent, a smaller developer. He probably builds around 20 houses a year. So that he's just as important to me as kind of the big deals that I've got recently with developers maybe building like 1,000 units on that side of things, as the one that's building 20. Because I've always believed that whether they're using my business or not, I always stay there and stay close to my developers and my customers regardless, because you stay with them with the bad times as well as the good times. So important thing for me is to look after the customers I've already got, and with them I'm ensuring that they've got the access to the right products at the right price, with manufacturers that care about their businesses and are look after those regional house builders from that perspective. So I want to look after those, and then from there I want to grow. It is built by partners. So partners, I've got 3 manufacturers currently, and hopefully that will grow one day. I've had opportunities with other partners, but I want to make sure I look after the partners I've got currently before I add more.
I think that's so important and so sensible as well.
Thank you.
That's because don't try and do everything. Do what you're going to
grow
do
too
really
quickly.
well. No, but do it well.
Yeah.
Execute it, get it working, and then look to build from that. So
Yeah.
what I can say from everyone here at the Foyne Jones Show, you've been a
Yeah.
breath of fresh air. It's just been great to have someone on with so much personality and enthusiasm, and I have no doubt you are going to be amazingly successful. I want you to promise me something.
Yeah.
Right? Stay in touch, and next year, when things are going amazing and the sun is shining and you can see Brighton for all its glory, not like the Armageddon weather you had to battle through down this morning, will you
Yeah.
come back and tell us how it's going?
Yeah, 100%.
Because we'd love to have Rebecca back on, wouldn't we, Charlie? Yeah, you've been a brilliant guest, and I think
Thank
you're gonna reach a different type of listener to who we normally engage with, and I think that's brilliant. So, Rebecca De Silva, thank you so much for being part of our podcast today. I have to say thank you to our sponsors, Charlie, because without saying thank you to our sponsors, David Blitz and E.T. Clay, we wouldn't be building on success. Thank you so much. That, sadly, Rebecca, is the end of the podcast. We'll have another chat downstairs. Have you had fun?
Yeah. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
You've come over brilliantly. I can't wait to get this released. Thanks for listening. Well, Rebecca De Silva, that is the end of the Foyne Jones Show. We've got a new film supporter in the studio. We'll see you next time.